Hey guys, so welcome to my YouTube channel. So the idea is to just basically do one take podcast style episodes because I am too lazy to edit. Not only do I not have the fancy editing skills, but I just want to be able to share my thoughts and just basically make long form content in the style of podcast videos. So there's been something that's been weighing on my heart, but I kind of want to split this particular episode or video into two parts. The first being on this new content creator journey, I just want to be able to share my content and not have to focus too much on algorithms and going viral, but rather believing that the people that are meant for my channel, are meant for my videos, will find me. I don't want to focus on virality and, catchy hooks and all these things. And also the quality, like they say, film with your back camera, add some fancy edits, clicking sounds and edit out awkward silences. But I just want to come on as my authentic self and just talk. So something that's been weighing on me a lot recently is the cognitive dissonance. I feel like everything is hee and ha when I'm going about the daily motions of life. I'm occupied, I'm busy, I'm going out, there's things to do, things to see, content to post. But when I come home and I'm just here with the silence of my thoughts and I'm overthinking, I want to know if anyone else relates to this. So a bit of my backstory. I grew up in a Muslim household. I grew up to a Muslim family, being Gambian, West African. But I feel like it was more of a cultural Muslim rather than a strictly enforced. Like my parents tried to get me in and my siblings in mosques a few times, but during the time I was in secondary school and nearly about to my GCSEs, I didn't have much interest in going to the mosque. For a few reasons. I just felt like there wasn't my community. I didn't see people that looked like myself. I didn't feel that connection. I just felt like it was predominantly Pakistanis, maybe Bangladesh people, and I just felt excluded from that. And definitely there were elements of like racism and just feeling like outcasted, and that definitely made me have a sour taste. But more on that later because it actually goes quite deep, like religious trauma. And then going through the motions and struggling through life, feeling a bit lost and being a young teenager, I sort of class myself as agnostic. I wouldn't really say like fully atheist, but I definitely didn't feel like very much connected to God. I was just going through the motions of life, with not having like a very strong religious background, which then led me to a path of spirituality and enlightenment when I came to age around 18. It led me down kind of like almost like a spiritual ego and a spiritual psychosis. I went down very much like the conspiracy theory side of spirituality, where I was like, anti this and anti that, and don't drink tap water, it's got fluoride and you're going to calcify your pineal gland, and being a Snapchat warrior. Like people who know me personally know that I used to post on Snapchat being like this and that and this isn't good for you and this is toxic and whatnot, and really trying to heal patterns. But I found that with this like new age spirituality, this is like the rebranded New Thought movement, wrapped in a pretty bow. I used to watch Till Swan, I used to listen to Abraham Hicks, I used to do affirmations, I used to want to meditate, I used to want to do yoga and all these things, and all those things are great, but I realized it didn't give me fulfillment, it didn't give me satisfaction, it didn't give me purpose or direction. It actually made me feel more lost than I started, because while it was definitely comforting and it gave me closure for a short period of time, I noticed within a couple years delving into it, I was like, is this basically healing and constant traps of like healing this trauma and that trauma, and I had BPD, I had this trauma when I was 7, like I need to heal it. It's like always trying to heal from things, always trying to heal like an anxious attachment style or trying to have better relationships. I was like, okay, this is not fulfilling. And then growing up recently now, I'm kind of like curious about Christianity and reading the Bible, and the cognitive dissonance I feel is like, am I trying to achieve my goals through my own will and what society has programmed me to believe is success, is having a happy life, or am I living through God's will? And this is giving me like a major cognitive dissonance because I'm really split in two minds, because I've always been a ambitious go-getter babe. I've really always wanted to be successful and obviously have a platform where I share content and sort of like, be a content creator and receive love and validation of people who don't even know me, and grow a community and have people to talk to, people to travel with, have friends and all these things. But the more I go on, the more I realize, like, do I want that, or have I been told that's what I want? Because it only took me a little bit of having like the material things, like the nice handbag and the nice shoes and the holidays, to realize those things don't fulfill the emptiness, like the deep void of emptiness within me. And a lot of people will say that's because God is missing from your life. Another thing that made me very like conscious of like God's presence and like the disconnection towards God, which is kind of like stressing me out every night, is the fact that like the state of the world, like, if we see the world, if you go on social media, it only takes 5 minutes of doom scrolling to be like, what is going on? Not only is it like normalized brain rotting and like casual racism and wars going on, people hungry, and inflation and the rental crisis and the worldwide crisis that's going on in the world, but even like modern values and stuff, like we're losing traditional values, we're losing morals, we're losing dignity. And the fact that men and women, sorry, I had a notification, I really should have put my phone on airplane mode, but the fact that like men and women, even the discourse between men and women is just like so bad. Cheating's normalized, no one seems to be able to have a healthy relationship, making friends is hard, trying to heal toxic patterns with toxic family members is hard. And I just feel like it's so much weight to carry, trying to break these generational curses and stuff. Like, it all feels a lot on my shoulders, and I'm like, this can't be all that life has to offer me. And I really do feel like God has a bigger purpose for me, and I really do want to live in my purpose. And I want to go to bed feeling like, yeah, I've done good today, I've made the world a better place rather than a worse place. But I really do feel like late stage capitalism is like drawing us away from God, because we're so distracted in the modern day with work, with trying to build up wealth, with trying to curate our perfect fantasy romantic relationships, with like lust and things like this, and things that you see in like OnlyFans, and like the world is generally being like over lustful, the things promoted in music and Hollywood, things that people do for fame and fortune, and how dark Hollywood is, and people are still trying to chase those dreams. I really do feel like there's a bigger purpose in life. And even with chasing things like monetary success and trying to be like a millionaire and have the Birkin bag or the supercars or whatever it is, I do feel like, are those people really happy? Are they really fulfilled? Because I feel like they still feel the same emptiness as someone who's maybe comes from a broke, poor family, but at least they have a happy family, or they do a hobby that they love. And it really made me like start questioning, do I really want success, or am I chasing a feeling of happiness that I feel like I can't obtain without success? And it's just kind of like hard, because I really be thinking deep. I'm like, I know a lot of people just go through the motions of life on autopilot. They don't really think too much. They go out with their friends, they have a few drinks, they vape, they go to sleep, they go to work and repeat. But when I know, like, when all the distractions are gone and it's just me in bed thinking, I'm like, damn, like, there's gotta be more to life than this. Like, I really want to make the world a better place. I don't want to leave it in the state that it's in or make it a worse place. But I really do feel like being in modern times, you're almost like kind of trapped in the cycle where like you're perpetuating it. Because it's like, I don't agree with how things is making late stage capitalism. You're bombarded with ads, everything is a promotion, everyone is trying to like lose their dignity or embarrass themselves purposely online for clout. And it's like, that is so normalized to get a bag. And it's like, I don't really want to go down that route, because people just kind of end up, I feel like people sell their souls for like worldly gains, and I don't feel like that's something that's fulfilling to me. I need something that truly has purpose. And for me, my purpose is creating things. I really want to tap into my art, so I'm going to challenge myself every week to do something creative and be consistent with it, whether it's drawing, whether it's painting, whether it's modeling and fashion, just spending time in nature and just trying to like really ground myself and remind myself that there's more to life than just sort of a monetary success and stuff. So if anyone relates to this, I know this is kind of like I jumped everywhere, but I'm just speaking out loud. If anyone relates to this, I feel like my plans to like help this feeling of like cognitive dissonance and like, oh, I'm in two minds, I don't really know what to do. I want to like go back to my roots. I want to study the Bible, I want to study the Quran, you know, I want to study philosophy, psychology, theology, and kind of like make a conclusion about what I feel like aligns with me. Because I've noticed speaking with people, because I have close friends who are Christians and I have close friends who are Muslim, and I just feel like both sides have really compelling arguments and I'm like, I don't really know. Even when people ask me like, are you Christian, are you Muslim, I'm just kind of like, I'm both but neither, but also spiritual, if that makes sense. I definitely feel like, well, I know God is real, I know his presence is real, and I don't want to be disconnected from that truth. But I've always said I don't know if there's an objective truth in life or if there's a subjective truth in life, because I don't think any two people in the world have the same viewpoints on life, and especially what happens after death. There is no proof of what happens, and I guess you sort of have to go with not essentially what's working for you, but you need to have faith in what you're doing. And I just feel like right now, like, I've never been more lost. Like, life is great and I'm trying to pray and stuff, but I also do feel like I am not serving my full potential, like I'm not serving my full purpose. So if you're feeling like this, join the journey, come along. And I've already realized I'm at 11 minutes, so I'm gonna cut this video now, I'm gonna upload it, and I'm gonna make a mission to try and upload frequently, even if I feel like the quality isn't good, the lighting isn't good. I'm using my front camera, I don't have a tripod, I don't have an expensive camera, I don't know how to do fancy edits. But I watched a video today while getting ready, and the creator on YouTube was saying, you need to like post, you need to share your art, because it will take you like 100 bad takes to probably get one good one that you like, and you'll just learn along the way. So I'm really glad. I mean, I've started posting on TikTok, and right now I've got 200 followers on TikTok, and I've got 200 subscribers on YouTube. And I kind of want to talk and focus more on long form content, because I feel like I do have a lot to say, and I don't script my videos either. I just think, damn, I really want to talk about this, and I just talk. So maybe I'll do like a script so I'm not going on tangents and rambles. But I kind of want to post also as like a accountability thing. So in a year's time I'll look back and I'll be like, okay, have I got 1% better at least? Like, has my skills improved? So I guess that's why I'm posting, even if I'm not like 100% happy with the result, because perfectionism is just another form of fear. So even if I don't have the fancy edits or like people watching all the way through and it's kind of boring, you know, I still want to just post and just see what happens, because the worst that's gonna happen is it gets 12 views and it's just there on the internet forever. But at least I'm kind of living in my authenticity, because it's a little bit cringe, just a little bit frightening to put yourself out there. But it took working a 9 to 5 that I hated for me to realize I don't want to be doing this for the rest of my life. I'd rather, you know, live my best life, own a business, become an entrepreneur. I mean, I already am, but you know, like, have a solid, stable stream of income. When people ask me, what do you do? I'll just be like, yeah, I do this, I'm a business coach, or you know, I do this, or whatever. So if you're anything like me, nicheless, multifaceted, a little bit unsure, always changing your mind, then follow along and we'll just see what happens.